What's good, everybody? Today we're going to be discussing something that's been on my mind for the last few years. Now, if you've played 2K consistently over the past few years, or let's just say starting at NBA 2K14, if you take a look down the line, all the way up until now from then, one thing has been consistent in my career, and that one thing is the one and only Jackson Ellis. We were introduced to Jackson Ellis in NBA 2K14, where he played the role of our rival, and he also attacked us on a rooftop. Now, a year later in NBA 2K15, Jackson Ellis is retired because his kneecaps exploded, which is probably karma for attacking people on rooftops. But in NBA 2K15, he's the rep for Nike and Jordan, who you gotta impress in order to get the deal. And he's, of course, power tripping on that. And in NBA 2K16, Jackson Ellis is an optional connection who, if you hang out with him one too many times, now you just stuck with a permanent signed jersey from Jackson Ellis in your my court. And I've always wondered, in that game, why was Jackson Ellis ever a connection when, in comparison, the people who you can hang out with are like the current stars in the NBA, LeBron, and just anybody in the NBA, as well as legends like Kobe, Iverson, Jordan. Why would I ever choose, hey, you know what? I could go on this fishing trip with Iverson, but I think I'm going to just go bowling with Jackson Ellis instead. That sounds so much better. Why would I ever want to hang out with Jackson Ellis? Ellis returns once again in NBA 2K17, playing pretty much the same role as 16, always offering to hang out and still being hell-bent on giving out those signed jerseys of his one career year as many times as he possibly can. And then in NBA 2K18, Jackson Ellis decided to switch it up. Jackson Ellis looked at himself in the mirror and he said, you know, I'm not enough of an op. What can I do on top of my current resume to become more of an op? Oh, I know. I'll become a cop. But yes, even the one year where Jackson Ellis didn't bother us, he was always lurking. He was always somewhere just waiting, just hiding out, just keeping a watchful eye on you.
Three-time NBA All-Star, plays in charities, coaches his kids' little league, by all of his baby mama's beautiful breastises.
And as we all know, in NBA 2K19, he and ATM team up in the G League to create the duo that I promise you, in my heart and my mind and my soul, is a carbon copy of Team Rocket from Pokemon. I swear, every time I see that cutscene, I hear the Team Rocket music in my mind, and that's just the first thing that my mind go to. And also the Smoke and Mirrors cutscene in the prelude made for probably what is the coolest, but also most irrelevant moment in all of NBA 2K19, possibly 2K history. It was such a cool moment, but for what? And even when I'm watching basketball on a Reddit even when I'm watching basketball on cable that I pay for, I see this ad every night.
This is Jerry learning that he's still paying for this stuff he's not using. This is Jerry canceling a few things. Booyah. This is Jerry appreciating the people who made this possible.
I mean, seriously, you can't get away from this dude. So that brings us to the question, why has Jackson Ellis been here this entire time? Why won't he leave? It's not because 2K is lacking actual basketball-related characters to use, because there are plenty of those, so there has to be a reason. After doing a lot of thinking about any possible reasons that it could be, maybe his voice actor works for really cheap, and we know 2K loves to save that money. Maybe he has a buddy that writes for 2K that plugs him every year like, hey, Jackson Ellis' voice writer is still available if you guys want to use him. Or maybe 2K is just lazy. Or maybe he's a metaphor that the game developers keep in there every year to show us that consistency is important. But in the midst of all these incorrect reasons, it finally hit me. As a matter of fact, it hit me like Jackson Ellis on a rooftop with a gun that is clearly not photoshopped. Jackson Ellis is the controlled variable in an experiment that 2K is doing that is about to take off, and it's about to get crazy. Y'all see how I dropped that elementary science vocab in there? Shout out to Miss Howell, boy. But that experiment starts with Jackson Ellis. You see, the real reason that Jackson Ellis has been able to exist in all of these games that apparently take place in the same universe is that 2K is working on the beginning stages of an NBA 2K universe, similar to that of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And in the coming years, they're going to start connecting past characters and introducing new characters to this one universe where the 2K My Careers will all be serialized. I could be totally wrong. I could be 150% off. That's why it's called a theory. And if you want to know more on this theory, then you're just going to have to subscribe to the channel, because the other part of this theory is an entire theory of its own. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Drop a comment down below telling me, why do y'all think Jackson Ellis has been in every single 2K since 2K14? What do y'all think the reason is? But that's all I got for y'all today, man. And as always, I'm D Brown Shanghai, and I'm up out of here.